Hi, I'm Titli and this is my busy garden. It's a beautiful warm and sunny day. Look at me, I'm practically naked and the air is absolutely buzzing. Quite literally. One of the features of living in a place, a very small town, which is close to some quite serious agricultural land, is the number of flies that appear after muck spreading at this time of year. I mean, they're everywhere, dude, absolutely everywhere. Now, if the roof vent in my greenhouse was open, I can almost guarantee that my greenhouse would be full of flies by now, but it's not. Anyway, I'm going to get on with some weeding of Summer Fruit City to the accompaniment of bzzz. Now, while I'm doing this utterly riveting task, I ought to give you a little potted history of Summer Fruit City. Now, when we moved here 18 months ago, it was very much a case of let's see what's growing and then work out what we're going to do with it next year. But in this particular part of the garden, there were 4 blackcurrant bushes, 2 gooseberry bushes, and numerous raspberry canes that were all growing crazy and weren't trained at all. The problem with that was it meant that a lot of the fruit at the back here went to waste because you just couldn't get at it. So last autumn I took drastic measures, put these posts in, ran the wires and transplanted as many of the raspberry canes as I could into a nice neat row, exposed all the fruit trees at the back and decided to plant a nice little bramble in the middle. So let's see what happens this year. Should be a lot easier than last year. Well, I reckon Soft Fruit City's looking pretty sharp now. It's pretty hot and steamy in the greenhouse this week because I've got the vent shut because I don't want all those flies coming in here. Now, there's a few things to do, but first of all I want to introduce you to some new friends. 4 lovely tomato plants that I bought this week. These are money makers. And 4 little bell pepper plants. I prefer to buy plants rather than plant seeds because if I plant seeds I just end up with far too many plants. Now the courgettes, I only planted 6 and they're going rampant. They're loving this weather, and if you look carefully you can even see the roots coming out the bottom. So I'm going to take 3 of these and I'm going to transplant them now into a grow bag. I've chosen what I think are the 3 most healthy little plants. They've certainly all got roots poking out the bottom. And all I need to do is cut slits into the bag and poke them in. Look, 50p off tomato food. I'll have that. Definitely keep that. Great. I shall water this well when I've done the other 2. Now I'll give them a really good water. Now I'm going to need to water these regularly from now on. Stop the soil drying out. As for the other 3 courgettes, I think I'll give them away to friends if they want them. I'm going to have to get out of this greenhouse before I melt. It's like being back in Houston in the middle of summer. I hate weeds, especially those that grow in paths. Now before somebody says, oh, you should put a rubber membrane underneath that to stop the weeds coming up, there is one already, only it's clearly not very good. I'll probably replace it in the autumn. Being a chemist, I like to resort to science. Die little weedies, die little weedies, die, 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 die little weedies. Die little weedy, eat glycophosphate, death evil weeds. Bwahahaha. Now I don't know about you, but I think there's something missing from my garden. Can you see what it is? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. No? Not got it yet? Then let me tell you. A barbecue. Yes, I've decided that this space needs a brick-built barbecue, Titli style. I'm going to create a very simple brick-built barbecue, and I've drawn up some plans. Yes, they're not very exciting, are they? But the first thing I need to do is to get laid a concrete plinth onto which I'm going to build the barbecue. And that means getting the shovel out. To start with, I need to dig a little hole here, little, actually not so little, which is 1 metre by 1 metre by 6 inches deep. I'll start by raking away the gravel. And then I can get digging. Coming on quite well. So there's the hole, 1 metre by 1 metre by 15 centimetres deep. Now the next thing I'll need to do is to make a little frame into which to pour the concrete, and for that I've got some rough sawn timber. Voila! Now I've actually had to make 2 frames because my builder's merchant didn't have any 6x1. So I've made a frame out of 4x1 and a frame out of 2x1, and now I need to fit them into the hole. Okay, as I suspected, it's not quite going to fit. I just need to take a little bit out of the width here. Do that with my spade. Just square it up. And check the level. Okay, that's good. It's perfectly level across this way. And across this way. And there's a slope down that way, which means that the water can run off when it rains. Perfect. Now all I need to do is go and see a man about some concrete. Well, that's all I've got time for this week. Thanks for watching, and do join me next time in Titli's busy garden.